Welcome to this Portmaster FAQ. Today I'm going to answer a question from Discord regarding two-factor/multi-factor authentication in the saving account. Bear with me, this might be a longer video today and it might be a little bit more rambly, but I have seen that question multiple times and I think pointing people to this video might help them and anyone asking in the future. So, what's the history with saving and multi-factor authentication? We built our account platform ourselves. We saw back then a need to do that. The whole thing, also the payment system and stuff. Yes, we use Stripe and we use PayPal. And this is clearly labeled, and this was part of what we wanted. We wanted people to understand who has actually their payment information, because we don't, and we don't want to have it. Also for this disconnect between the user on our site and their payment information. So we made that decision to build it ourselves, to be really sure that we don't have that information, that we don't get that information, and to communicate to the users very directly what it is. Also, we wanted to support accepting cash and accepting cryptocurrencies, and those without having a third-party service involved. So especially like with the cryptocurrencies, and this was the last video I did, we got asked afterwards in the comments, like, why don't we use another service that could automatically convert whatever coin the person is sending us to the coin that we want? And the reason was we wanted everything disconnected as much as possible. Yes, that involves manual labor, but yes, this makes for the most privacy. So this is the reason why we chose to build our own platform. Also, a third reason was that there has been not that many options open source back then. So when we started developing this, I think this was 2018, 2019, late 2018, early 2019. There have not been other great other options out there that allowed you to do this disconnected and in the way that we liked. There are more options out there now, and so the reason why we sort of stopped developing and further into those features, which partly have already been developed but not finished yet, so not tested, and it after all is the user count, so it's very important for us to get right. So there has been development, and others, that's their expertise. And this thing that we learned over the years was we are good in network security. That's that's what we're good at. So that's the reason why Portmaster is a firewall, and yes, it's a privacy tool, but it's a firewall first and foremost, because that's where we come from. That's what we understand. That's what we are good at. What are we not good at? A couple of things, but like finance systems is one of them. So the system we built, I feel confident that we have been capable of doing it. But adding features on top of that, this adds complexity. This makes it harder. Many people, if you are a subscriber, thank you. And you probably have seen that most of our stuff does not have auto subscriptions. It's only PayPal. And the reason for that is similar. Like, we have not felt confident in implementing auto payment. It's not just a convenience feature for you. It's cool. We could have done either only do auto or only do one time. But we opted for one time. That's the part that we did for you guys. But we did not implement both because that would be hard for us technically, and we would not feel comfortable in doing that, or did not feel comfortable back then. And now we understand we should not put more resources into this, even if we could, because there are others who are then continuing adding features, doing their stuff in their open source projects. So we're looking into potentially switching platforms regarding this. It will be still self-hosted. We won't involve a third party, but we will involve third-party technologies. So they will run on our systems. There will be nothing shared with them. We will audit and vet their code, not officially audit, but we will look at their code They're written in languages that we have, that we understand. It's also in Ruby on Rails, like our current system. So we are very familiar with this, but they are professionals in that. This is what they do. This is what they live and breathe, and it's not what we live and breathe. So with that change, there will probably come a couple cool features. There will be more auto subscriptions capabilities coming. There will be potentially bank transfers, which people have been asking for the longest time and stuff. So we will be able to add more stuff easier and faster. And yes, also multi-factor authentication. We're thinking of maybe decoupling it from a website as well and having all of that done within Portmaster itself, so that we only have to use their backend and don't have to use their front end. And in Portmaster, we're much more comfortable with adding stuff, moving stuff, and so on. So this is the reason why we're not adding it now and why it might come into the future. Let me quickly address also why we don't see an issue with that. Even though a lot of people like having multi-factor authentication, and just as a quick side here, TOTP is technically not a multi-factor authentication and has issues, and maybe look into it. Passkeys are much better, but getting sidetracked here. Why don't we see an issue with adding it now? Basically, if you looked into your saving account there, you can have no personal information in there. And at that point, we're sort of asking, like, why do you need to protect it with something like TOTP, which basically maybe, I don't know. It does not add a lot. It does not add privacy. And from a security perspective, they cannot access you. The only thing they could take away is your saving account. And if you are the legitimate owner of that saving account, you probably have ways to communicate with us and reach out to us. I've never heard of somebody getting their saving account stolen. So until that becomes a huge plague where everybody gets their saving account stolen, I'm like, okay, well then, we definitely need to do something here. But I have not heard of a single incident of that. So, and people have been reaching out, they have lost their passwords and stuff like that. It's just not an issue I see. So with no information that you need to protect like this, because we don't have your credit card, there's nothing on there, we don't have your PayPal, we don't have anything like this. And maybe just as info, like, of course we stop things like brute force attacks. We see that on the servers, so we can stop that as well on our side. There is so much, like, we already do things in the back end. It's not as required. I don't see the issue. Maybe if, like, you want to get involved, if you have experience, this is just at the end here, if you have experience with that stuff, you can reach out. We are not against adding those functionalities to the current system overall, but we want to spend our resources wisely, and adding especially TOTP is not something that we see as a good way to spend our limited resources. What I could see us doing, because we're just excited about it, faster would be maybe a different sign-up option where you just have a passkey, where you add your username, and then with passkey. If you know webauthn.io, they have a test site. I typically use it when testing new security keys. Something like that. You just add a username, plug in your key, verify, get the public-private key pair created on that key, and that's it. And your account is created. That is very private because each site gets their own private public key pair. So it's not, you're not trackable through this. And it's very secure because it's phishing resistant and stuff like that. And it can't be stolen if you have it on a hardware key, of course, as well, because the hardware key has a PIN code and it locks up like your SIM card. If you do, I think 3 attempts or something like that, typically it's 3. So it's very secure, it's very private, and it's very easy. But not a lot of people have those keys yet. So the addressable audience is of course very small, but we are users of it. And if like we want to do something, then it's not wasted resources, then it's fun, you know? So I cannot promise where we're gonna go, but I wanted to still make this video to give you sort of like an overview. Where are we at the moment? Why are we where we are? And do I see ourselves going in the near to midterm future? So we will probably move our platform to another open source project. They are still in beta. We're evaluating them. We have been evaluating them for half a year already. We already reached out to them and are in contact with them. Cool guys. They're doing great stuff. And I feel like they were almost there where we could start switching over. This, of course, will be a blog post and you will hear about this. So don't get like, when will this happen? Also, your thoughts would be interesting in regards to this. I might put a link in the description. I can't remember their name from the top of my head now. So we'll probably switch over. We won't change too much with how our current account system works, just because we feel it's solid the way it is, and it's not our expertise. We're security and network security people. We're not we're not payment people, which is different. So that's just us understanding who we are and learning that the hard way over the last several years and so on. So yeah, I hope this was informative to you. I hope this was not a discouragement, but an encouragement to be excited about potentially adding a couple more requested features in the mid-ish term future. So yeah, let us know. And if you have any open source projects you would like us to consider for this, also get in touch. Like, let us know in the comments, write this on the Discord channel related to this video, or just reach out via email if you're maybe involved in something also super interesting to us. So we're very open in collaborating and working with other people. We understand what we can, where we're good at, better now than years ago, and we understand that payment is not one of those things. And also, maybe if you have not heard it, I think I said it enough in this video, we don't store your credit card information. We don't have it even. We never saw it. We never saw we don't have your PayPal information. We don't store it. And as soon as you delete an account, all those things get disconnected even further, which of course makes account recovery impossible, but we tell you on the homepage, please read, and stuff like that. So we try to be as private and as secure as possible, and adding something like TOTP or Passkeys now would not necessarily increase that security nor privacy. So that's the reason why we don't do it. Thanks for watching the video. Please comment, leave a like, subscribe. We recently surpassed the 1K mark. Also leave questions that you want me to answer either in the comments below or on the Discord, where the community is super active and it's super cool over there. So thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for continuing asking questions. Good questions have been coming in lately, and I hope the videos actually are useful and helpful to y'all. So thank you and have a good one. Bye.